Hello, today is the 8th of September 2020, and I'm doing a follow-up reading on a request concerning Cleopatra's tomb. A request was made about just if I couldn't basically do a more mediumistic style reading, and I can. I don't know that. Now the question did ask if she would be able spiritually to convey, through her spirit would be able to convey where her tomb is. Now we can certainly try that. Whether or not the tarot is going to be a suitable vehicle to really get the fine, point of where she's at, I would have to probably know a heck of a lot more about geography than I do and be more familiar with that area. But I can try with anything that comes up. She, certainly can try to just see what she would have to share, what she would want to share. So I'm going to try that now, and I'm using Yoshi Yoshitani's deck again, the Divine Tarot of the Divine. Oopsies. There we go. Sorry about the nicked nail polish, but being in a wheelchair, wearing nail polish that isn't basically clear or something, your hands get beaten up quite a bit. So I really do recommend this deck for those interested in the tarot. It's beautiful. It is linen types cardstock, very flexible yet durable. Okay, well worth the money. Let's see. So I'm going to now try to tune in, so to speak, to the spirit of Cleopatra. And I ask for my cards to be utilized to convey what she may wish to convey about her tomb and anything else she may wish to convey. Well, let's just start first with regard to her tomb, because otherwise things can get easily confusing. So I'm wanting to know, and I ask my ancestors, the spirit guides, and the creator and the spirit of Cleopatra, if she would be willing to convey to me anything about her tomb being found or location that I can somehow make, convey for her through the cards, through the symbolism. So I'm just trying to kind of tune into her frequency and that of my guides and the creator. And I'm only asking to share what she is willing to share and spirit is allowing. So let's just see, because I wish to be respectful. Cleopatra, what can you share, if you will, about your resting area, your tomb area, about where it's located, or describe it? Thank you. So again, I'm trying to ask Cleopatra what she might be willing to share with regard to where her tomb is and her feelings about it, because it might be kind of difficult to convey exactly the location. But we might be able to get impressions. So I keep an open mind. Cleopatra of Egypt, what can you convey to us about, through the use of the card symbols? And I just got a flash from her talking about very quickly. The use of the Egyptian characters, and she's commenting that the tarot keys aren't all that different. So that's an interesting thing that just entered my head. Okay. So I want to just, Cleopatra, what would you like to share with regarding your tomb location? Anything else you feel about it? Okay. Ten of Swords. Okay. All right. You know, what I flashed on, just even with the one card, is that what little I do know, I need to take time simply to read more, and I've always wanted to, about her. I've always found her fascinating. Is that at the time of her death, you know, things were not going well. So she took her own life, and they found there's the writing that I read about said something about a puncture wound, and not just, it wasn't a snake bite, but it was, but there were different means of administering a form of poison. They could rub an ointment, they could scratch. There's a certain instrument that could leave a scratch, and then you would swipe the poison into the opened skin. Apparently, you know, you could drink something, but for her, I guess she didn't drink anything, like drink the poison. It sounds like it was perhaps on something that pierced into her flesh, or that kind of means, or maybe through this instrument. It's a very interesting thing. This to me is, I think, her painful end, so to speak, that she's referring to at the time, I'm guessing, with the Four of Cups. Yes, it's showing a state of unhappiness. But I did ask her with regard to her tomb. I don't think she's answering that in this instance. I really strongly feel like this is describing what she's recalling at the end of her life. But we'll continue. Yeah, she wasn't, my feeling here is that she wouldn't have been satisfied with remaining alive. And I don't think she really wanted to have to do it, but I think she felt like she didn't want to continue to live the way she would have had to have lived under the circumstances at the time. Just wasn't satisfied. Felt like everything had basically been leveled. Queen of Swords. This must be her. I wonder if she was an air sign. Six of Swords. Again, I'm getting, and I feel like this is about her spirit, then traveling, transitioning to the other side. I also feel like her body was moved over to another location via water. I feel like the man who was responsible for moving her body in the last reading I did on her, I feel, and because I got with him too, that he went a great distance. It would have, according to the cards in the Enchanted Woods Petite Lenormand deck, it showed great distance and with the ship and a travel over water. I'm getting that again, and I feel like she's identifying herself here as an air sign, and what a beautiful queen. Very strong woman. Very intelligent, shrewd. Even though she was only 22. She was only 22. I think people at that time, because life expectancy was a lot shorter, obviously, I really feel like the culture, the society, the world was different, and the fact that I don't think some people had the type of carefree childhood. I think they grew up a lot faster, a heck of a lot faster. I don't think that their childhood lasted as long as ours does. I mean, because she was only 22. I think by the time that people entered their preteens at that point, they were more mature in many respects than people nowadays. I think, and it's because there's a longer life expectancy in society, and the world has changed. And I just haven't thought about that after I did a reading. So I'm feeling like that. Hello, I'm recording. 10 of Cups. Again, that's a lot of water. I'm recording. He's at work.
Not everybody's seeing which way.
Okay, I'm recording. Sorry, I have to get back on track now. Hierophant. Page of Coins. Alright. Kind of hard to read at this angle, so I'm going to have to look at the monitor and do it, because from the way I'm sitting, this room, I don't care for my bedroom. The fact of the matter is the light is very bright, although I like a lot of light, but it goes right into my eyes, and there's a glare. And so when I look down at the cards, all I see is glare. I can't see any distinct differences, so I've got to look at the monitor in this case. Okay. So I feel like she met her painful end. She wasn't happy, and she felt her life was, everything that she cared about had been, was gone. So I feel like this is her, the Queen of Swords. And I feel like this is her remains, her body being taken to another location away from the chaos of where she was currently at, or at the time of her death, to another location further away where things were more peaceful. Now that is a key. That is a key toward, about, if anyone knows the history at that time, I would appreciate comments in the comment box about it, because I do know basically that things were not going well. That's why she killed herself, and but I don't. This would have been an area further out. We do have 2 swords in that upper rows, and swords are air. They are the direction of east. And cups, definitely west. So maybe southwest direction in some fashion, because all we have are swords and cups. And out of the 4 cards that we have at the top. Water element in the cups. Water element also with this Six of Swords, despite the fact that it is, okay, a sword cup, an air, I'm sorry, despite the fact that it is a sword card, an air card, it does carry the connotation of travel, and especially traditionally travel via water. And that's not the first time I've gotten the travel via water for her. As I said in the other reading, I believe it was ship that was shown. And that her body was taken to a location that was more settled, didn't have so much strife going on, was more peaceful. And I believe over water, maybe possibly in a southwesterly direction from where she was at the time of her passing. 10 of Cups, the Hanged Man, the Hierophant, and the Page of Coins. Now this is what I have to make sense of. I believe that with this Hierophant, here's where her beliefs and the societal structural teachings and things were rules, knowledge were concerned. I believe she was very educated. Okay, this is something that I'm getting with regard to herself, and I think she was an air sign, which would be Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Something tells me like Gemini with her. With that sex appeal. Marilyn Monroe was a Gemini. And clever. Now that 10 of Cups and the Hanged Man make me feel like it's a place of her repose. And it's a beautiful area, and I think it is near water with the 10 of Cups, or overlooks the water. My feeling is, and it's been known for many generations with that 10 of Cups, as a distinctly beautiful area. I also feel like this card can correspond to her transition. I feel like there was simultaneously the transition of her body to another location, and her spirit transitioning over into the spirit world as well. And being reunited. Something about, did they have a belief about going over the Nile or the water, the river? This plays a big part, and may have been also, not only was it, I think, the means in which her body was moved to another location where things were more peaceful and a beautiful aesthetic, but I think that this is also her transitioning on the other side. There's something simultaneous about that. And she viewed as a victim of circumstance also, with this Hanged Man. I think this is in reference to her passing. Again, because if we look up at these cards, these two feel like to me a conveyance of how she was feeling at the time of her passing, and kind of the turmoil that was going on where she was at, and it not being people not being happy in that society, in that area. And she certainly wasn't. I feel like she's at peace. And that she was laid, even this card itself looks like repose of someone who has passed. I believe her tomb area is near I would also say a significant body of water, or area of water, some form of water that is ancient, and probably was ancient at the time of her passing. It may have connections to the Neptune here, because I feel like this is Neptune. Let's take a quick look, because these are about deities. Now, she decked herself out like she was Aphrodite, apparently. And I believe, was it Caesar or was it Mark Antony? I can't remember. One of the two of them thought, I think it was Mark Antony, thought that they were a god as well. I think Dionysus or something like that. Adonis, I'm not sure. You know how people tend to do. Hey, I'm a Greek god. But at the time, this isn't all that unusual. This is Sleeping Beauty is a symbol of stasis. With the options of sleep or death, she chooses to wait for more favorable conditions. Suspension, sacrifice, readjustment. The hangman ceases forward momentum to avoid disaster and instead favors reflection. So here we have the reflection. We also have her in the state of death. It is as a sleep, according to her, kind of a state at her, I think, at the time. I think she's also describing, it is the ceasing of your body moving, although you have the awareness. So I believe that she's saying also that she approves and feels it was very beautiful, the area that she was taken to. And I think she's very grateful that someone was kind enough to do this for her and generous to lay her in a beautiful manner. They also felt that she was a victim of circumstance. She identifies as a victim of circumstance. Again, I think the area is further away, but again, at a coast side or near water, a body of water. Let me go to that Ten of Cups in this deck, because Yoshi has put certain fairy tales or deities in connection, and I need to find out this one because it matters. So let's see if we can find that. Cups, cups, cups. 10 of Cups. Okay, here we have, it's from Persia, and it's Julnar, the Seaborn. The 10 of Cups represents the true emotional and spiritual fulfillment after many hard trials. Hope I'm pronouncing this right. Julnar finds a happy, loving husband and has a child. Her brother rises from the sea, which often represents the subconscious, to congratulate her and celebrate her newfound life. This is harmony, reunions, bliss, found family. So I feel like she's saying she crossed over, transitioned, and she found family and people that she had known, and very joyous. She's reflectory in her state of repose and her state of death. I also feel like this is indicative of the area as well. It has rocks in this and I believe she's near. I believe she's possibly very much near some form of coastline, or within view of water, or a great body of water. Some sort of body of water with a view. Okay, so now when we go yeah, and she felt great, truly great rest to not be dealing with the problems that she was dealing with at the end of her life. That shows great peace, great relief. So, it truly, in her passing, she did find more peace, and I believe as well, yes, her body was moved. I believed, again, a water area. Okay, so let's take a quick look at Hierophant, just in case we can glean anything further from that, and Page of Coins. Because I'm going to try to use the deck as much as I can. Well, it's about conformity, social approval, tradition, and legacy. So I believe this says, she was taken to she was given rules, the rites, the rituals of the time in which she believed in, too. In a traditional manner. So she was given some kind of traditional farewell, so to speak, and setup, like she would have had if she had been able to be in her homeland. I believe she was taken out of her homeland. I don't believe she was still in Egypt. I believe that she was taken further out. The distance and the emphasis on outside of her location to another location, to me, means outside of wherever she was at the time of her passing. She went to another location, and her spirit also went to another location. And I believe that she was shown or given what they could as a traditional to her beliefs and the Egyptian way that she was part of, subscribed to. That's interesting. Sometimes you get a little bit more if you just slow down. I don't, as you can tell, I'm typically California laid back. I don't like to speed read. Now, this is a new beginning and an end of darkness with this page, because it's a Sami deity here. And I probably am not going to say this right, but Beevi Naida. And that is the name of this deity. I think my family might have Sami blood. Well, I don't want to continue to slaughter the name. Represents hope, setting up solid foundations, mental wellness, grounded, anticipates. She's in a much better place, and the place where she was buried in was a place, I think, that was in a much more settled energy. And again, I'm being shown somebody that was loyal. I'm getting loyalty also with this card to the rites and the traditions being given to her, perhaps in the way that she is laid out, especially maybe even in the material of like the craftsmanship or what, of tomb, that kind of thing. There was some effort made to give her a traditionally Egyptian tomb burial and rites. I feel like there was someone there that administered, some priest, wherever they were at, that was able to do that. So she wasn't just kind of hurried up, and it looks to me like she was given a very ornate, involved, ritualistic burial in a secure location outside of where she was when she passed, that is peaceful, that is beautiful, that may be near a significant ancient body of water. And I believe that her tomb would show, even the fact that it might be in a different, and I think it is, country, so to speak, or nation. It will show distinctly Egyptian, probably artifacts and craftsmanship. It was not done, it was done, keeping to her faith, her beliefs, how she, her society. Despite the fact that I think that it's in another country. I keep getting that flash. She went through such great loss. Look at this card finally for her. Oh my God, that's her. 5 of Swords. I think, it really hurt her to lose her, basically her country. She had to go to make new starts. With what she went through, that really upset her. What happened? Losing power. Let's take a look at what they want to say about this, because oh my God. I know that that's Isis and Hades, right? No, oh, you know who I mean. The under world god. Hold on. Today we're just taking it easy. This is a chill reading. I'm not doing today the political readings. I get a little burnt on that, as much as I do enjoy reading on them. The energy you guys, is draining. So, you'll have to forgive me. I also want to get back to reading my book on Comey. I haven't even gotten to that yet. It's been quite a day already for me. Let's just see. Blah, blah, blah. Yappity yap, Maya. Okay, that's... Okay, so that was the 4, right? Yes. 5 of Swords. Egyptian mythology. The 5 of Swords represents a fight won through deceit. Set overthrows his brother Orosis and is seen gloating over his brother's inconsolable wife Isis. While Set represents a tyrant of a victor, Isis is a defeated combatant who will eventually bring about Set's defeat. Oh, girl wants to give us some tea here. She was not happy about losing power, but I think she's saying that she saw to the end of maybe the undoing of whoever took power from her at the end of the day somehow. Okay, that's interesting. So here she is with her... She very much was connected, a believer with regard to certain rites and rituals akin to her Egyptian roots, we get judgment. And this has to do with what she was taught to believe about what she would face in the afterlife and what to expect. And that is the domain, I think, in which her spirit kind of presides. Let's just read a little bit on their Yoshi's description of the Queen of Swords is a fierce and exacting force. This is represented by from a China, and it's a Arabic actually folktale, though it's out of China. Turandot, the Queen of Swords is a fierce and exacting force. Turandot does not forget betrayal, so her judgments, while fair and principled, seem brutal and cold. Still, she's open-minded, intelligent, and can be charming and witty when she chooses. Well, that fits from what we've heard and read in history about her. I just want to go to judgment very quickly, because I feel like these myths and different deities are important for us to know, because that's at the time in which she was living. This was her world. This was what they believed in. She's letting me know that. She's very much connected to the energy of Egypt and that ancient Egyptian belief system. Fascinating to me. So, like, if you can, it's a frequency. If you can kind of tap into that by some means, then you can kind of feel it out. Well, judgment is represented by Sun Wukong, which is the Monkey King in China. It's a reckoning, an ending, the start of a new journey. So she also traditionally believed, and I do know this much about the Egyptian belief system, that she would be starting a new journey with her death. That they went over a certain area of water. I believe that again we're talking about the journey, traversing into the spirit world. Past actions and decisions determine future events, and if you haven't learned your lessons, you are doomed to repeat your mistakes over and over. But upright, it represents improvement, forgiveness, a change of perspective, absolution, rebirth. This is her rebirth, I believe, on the other side. I believe that she also did have to it is a rebirth. After undergoing a great deal of loss that she really didn't, though it's she goes down in history as having lost, she took satisfaction, I think, in the fact that whoever it was, forgive me for my ignorance right now currently of the Egyptian history at the time of her living and death, but whoever it was that is responsible, those who were responsible for her loss of power and kind of putting her into a corner where she felt like she had to take her own life, she feels like somehow at the end they got what they deserved. They may have taken her power, but they didn't last either, kind of a thing. There's some, conveyance of that. She feels that she's in peaceful repose now. She is not any longer in that position which she was at, obviously, at the time of her passing. Page of Wands and the Queen of Coins. This could be somebody in spirit that she's connected to. It may have been like a mother figure or someone who may have has helped to escort her in her journey, because I feel like I'm shown a Queen of Coins and the Page of Wands, and there's enthusiasm, there's happiness with this queen. This woman was, I think, someone significant to her that was in spirit. I believe this is what she wishes to convey about the time of her death. As far as location goes, I've given you what I can give you. There's, I think, mountains, particularly perhaps around it, near water. I think it has a view or a vista. I feel like she's high, kind of higher up elevation, overlooking water. That's just my feeling. The tomb overlooks it. So, okay, I'm going to pull 2 more cards. The Sun. Oh, look, and the Chariot. I think she went through and processed her life and what she, had to go look at that was difficult. We get the Sun and the Chariot. I also feel like this is saying her tomb, she wants it to be revealed so it can be preserved, I think cared for at some future point. With the Sun and the Chariot, to me this is like victory. This is her will also, that in time that I feel that it be found, that somebody travel and find it. And it's interesting that she gives us the Sun as a parting card with the Egyptian. I think that's Ra. Let's take a look who Yoshi has picked. So what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to kind of read up and see about the area and investigate, do a little tarot investigation of where she was at the time of her passing, and read about a little bit of the history of the surrounding areas she may have been taken to. Definitely someplace along probably a trade route that was very beautiful. So yeah, well, this is the sun god Ra, which she feels like she had successful passing after, and she keeps showing after a difficult time, successful peace, successful transition, illuminated with optimism and enthusiasm. So she kind of had to process. She shows that she had to process a lot of things that she did and things she experienced, and look at them honestly and with clarity. And her spirit is now free of those trials and emotional attachment. And I think that she does, again, wish for it to be found. So let's just take a look at what he's got for the Chariot. I meant to go through this book anyway, because this is from all over the world. Some of these I'm more familiar with than others. Some of these I absolutely don't know. And I do feel like if he chose that, and I'm using his deck, or their deck, I need to pay attention. So let's see if I can grab that Chariot real fast. I must have gone past it. I love this deck though. It is so beautiful. Really amazing. So, there it is. I kept going past it. Now, he's used a fairy tale out of Norway, and the Three Princesses. The Chariot is about harnessing emotions and charging down a straight, clear path. Where the prince may have floundered before, he has learned from his mistakes and now blazes forward confidently. A journey, perseverance, rushed actions, vengeance, victory. So she's feeling definitely good now. She's bright. She's in a vital state of being. She has processed. She's showing that she processed the stuff from her life. And she went through, I think, a traditional process of of Egyptian belief. In doing so, on the other side, I believe there is a realm that exists that has that way to it. I really do. But she went through, that's interesting, that she's showing us that. Again, if I look at location, I'm getting, I feel like a coast, water again with this depiction, and another area, another country, a different area, but where they used and gave her a traditionally Egyptian burial. I believe, again, there's mountains, there's water, and I believe it is a beautiful vista. It's clear, has a clear view. That's what I keep getting. And I believe there's rocks. I feel like it's a sealed high priestess. It's, it's been a secret, but I feel like with that Page of Cups, it could get something could come out about a certain area where she's at. It could be as simple as a child kind of finding this area, but I think it's more to do with people being casual in a certain area and discovering it. Or there's a certain element of a casualness, kind of a lightheartedness around this secret area, this that I think she's at. I'm wondering with that cups, is that something about a change or something with a body of water? Again, we get water though, don't we? We get the secret, and then we're given a card, the Page of Cups, again about water. So I definitely feel like she's near water. And I feel like she will be found. I feel like there's the 7 of Wands and the 8 of Wands, so activity. I feel like this is an archaeological dig area that it will go on. So she wants it to be found, and I think she would like it to be preserved and protected. And I get that also from the fact that she was taken, and that's what her tomb is always meant to be. So I feel like that was what she has to say about the location of her tomb and her life at the time of her passing. And I'll give her peace and let her go back to her enjoyment. And I thank her for sharing that with us. And I thank you for your question. And if you have a question that is on a public topic, it can be politics, it can be mysteries of like this one. Can't do personal readings right now, but if you have a public topic you want read upon, mystery, cold case, whatever, please just put it in the questions post or in the comments, but really in the questions post and under the community tab would be best. You might have to scroll down a little bit, but it just helps me to keep track of it easier. So I'll see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.